Welcome to the Underbelly podcast, brought to you by Clarity Financial, as we peek underneath, poke around, and expose the unexposed stories of the week about finance, economics, politics, and life. I'm Brent Clanton, executive producer of The Lance Roberts Show and the Real Investment Hour. We wanted to create a forum for exchanging stories, ideas, and anecdotes that deserve more in-depth, unfiltered conversations, plus allow you a glimpse behind the scenes. As always, we welcome your feedback. Find us on Facebook or online at realinvestmentadvice.com. Now, let's step inside the studio for the Underbelly podcast, starting now. And good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brent Clanton, along with Richard Rosso and the lovely and talented Lily Jang in the studio this afternoon. We have a kind of a short crew, but that's okay.
I think you only have Lily here.
Less of Lily that we have to share with other people.
I'm still stuck in my Reese Witherspoon dream from last night.
Reese Witherspoon?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Elaborate.
What was going on there?
I don't know, but we have two kids. It's like, you know what? It's 12:11 in the afternoon, and I'm still not away from the dream from last night.
Ah.
And then she's licking my face, and it was Rosie.
Your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it always is?
Reese, Rosie. Oh, Rosie. Story of my life.
I'm sure that would make for some interesting analysis.
You know what?
Psychoanalysis.
I have put many analysts. I have broken many, and I will continue to. Well, speaking of broken, Dow Jones down 184 points. S&P's down about 0.5%. Actually, always because now we have a Turkish lira problem, unlike Thanksgiving, when we have a Turkish something else problem. Uncle Joe is a little too gassy or whatever it is. But overall, again, market got a bit extended. At our meeting yesterday at Clarity, we were talking about that obviously the market's at a level of strong resistance, and this seems to be par for the course, so we'll see where this goes. But overall, very measured move down today. And again, for the most part, we've had such a nice run. It's not a big deal to see it.
Well, plus it's Friday too, and I always
Does
wonder.
that have to do with it?
Going into a weekend, I always wonder. Okay, what's going to explode over the weekend? What nugget of news is going to be released on late Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, that no one can react to until Monday? That's always fun to watch out for.
I'm not sure, but again, this Turkey issue has been around for a while. If you look at the ETF for Turkey, it's down substantially, and it's been a while. But as this news comes to a head, but overall, I think the market's taking it in stride. We have obviously the more non-cyclical, boring areas of the market, say food and beverage, holding up better than your industrials and financials and so forth. So obviously, it's just a generally okay. I mean, nothing unexpected as far as what we see. We just need to see where it goes. But again, most important is the market was overbought anyway. Make sure you read Lance's newsletter this weekend to get an idea of what we're thinking. We're still waiting to add more money to portfolios, but wanted to see if this overbought condition could work itself off. So today is a positive for us. We'll see where it goes.
How much of a sword of Damocles is this tariff thing that continues to wax and wane? We talk about it, and we don't talk about it.
That I can't scratch.
Yeah.
It's you don't know. Again, I was a big student of the Depression. I still am, and Smoot-Hawley was much more widespread than this. Could this cut GDP? Of course. I think ultimately the biggest issue we have is how it filters down to the consumer. Price increases that filter down and hurt the consumer. We still have 20 years of wage stagnation. We're starting to see a little bit of a light at the end of the long-term tunnel, but nothing to speak of. So again, it's more of the impact that this is going to have on households and the goods that we pay for, and especially whatever comes out of China. Although China has been scrambling to do some other things as far as internal stimulus, right? Infrastructure projects again, sort of like what we saw reminiscent after the not to the same at the same scale, but what happened after the Great Recession, and we saw China sort of take it upon themselves to build cities that no one will live in. So maybe there's just going to be a Lily Zhang city that nobody lives in because she's too busy traveling everywhere else.
I don't know. If they slapped her name on it, I think everybody would want to live there.
I'm in my own bubble. Hello, everybody. I've been
Welcome.
sitting over here wondering if I can chime in.
Well,
You can chime in
Okay.
any time.
All right.
Chime in there, Cloggy. You're good.
When you said that, what does that mean for the consumer? I always want to know that.
Because if prices have to go up and there's price pressures on products that we buy from other countries, then Lily's going to pay for it. I'm going to pay for it, and Brent's going to pay for it because they have to pass it. Like, for example, Toyota said, hey, we might have to raise the price of automobiles. So that's going to come out of our pockets. But again, it's very surgical, and we'd have to see which products are going to be affected. Are you going to be able to alternate and say, listen, I won't buy this product anymore, I'll buy that product as a consumer, because consumers are known to switch. But ultimately, these higher costs have to be passed down, or the company is going to eat it through margins, and that's not going to happen. And again, some steel companies that reported are finding it a windfall, right?
For now.
Yeah, for now. So they got workers going back to work. But again, you're helping a select group, and you might be hurting a broader group of consumers. But again, there are times when you've had tariffs, and they were on more products than we're seeing now. Right now, it seems to be very selective.
Well, you say surgical too, and I can't think of one automotive manufacturer that isn't going to be touched by this. You mentioned Toyota, but they all use steel, and if the price of steel goes up, they're all going to have to adjust their pricing.
They will
for the cost of goods.
What you might have to instead of having that 60-month car loan, it might be 80 months.
Oh, they've already got those.
Or the car mortgage.
Yeah, the car mortgage. Exactly.
And
right.
then Trump, I know, said
mortgages.
that there's going to be aluminum tariffs and steel tariffs on Turkey as well. And that is a big issue. And I think Trump had a Twitter. I know, I get up at 3:30, 4:30, walk the dogs, come back. Oh, my gosh, I got to go back to sleep. But I have my Twitter feed up. And Trump's Twitter's feed starts at around 5:30.
Local time?
Eastern time.
Yeah. Oh, Eastern. Okay. Yeah.
And that's when I sort of see them roll in. But again, he says, our relations with Turkey are not good at this time. Although his relationship with McDonald's seems to be pretty good.
Thank you,
based
Captain
on his
Obvious.
happy meals there.
Yeah.
But again, it passes down to us.
Right.
The problem is how price sensitive we are. Do we wait to buy? Because again, households are a bit strained based on debt and borrowing costs going higher, stagnant wages. So how does that all process itself? It is an experiment that we have yet to see the results of.
Yeah.
So all the while, it causes turbulence in markets. So
Yeah.
you might be paying more for some things that you may not have in the past.
And then
Or go ahead.
And the nugget that I take away from that is that if my clients have less buying power because of everything else going up, they're not going to be able to afford the house they had wanted.
Exactly.
Or could afford 2 months ago.
Yeah.
6 months ago.
Well, what happens in that case? In other words, like when I buy a house, or if I buy a house and I meet with a realtor and I say, here's my price range, and they go, oh, but you can afford a house that's 3 times that.
Of course you can.
No.
That's not what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. They're not listening.
Well, they're listening, but they don't want to listen.
Right.
They want to try to sell me, we want to make, again, we have debt guardrails here. I follow them diligently. A house to me is an expense. Sorry. It's not an investment. So I look at it different. Like, I'd rather put my money into an investment than a house. But the point is, people that look at their house as their greatest investment, as rates go up, right? They have to make a decision. Or, like, for example, even with Hurricane Harvey, right? Product is scarce in many ways. Wood, timber, right?
Lumber's
roofing
going up.
materials.
Lumber has been going up in price. So housing prices go up. Now mortgage rates go up, and there's so much that people can afford in that monthly payment. So I have to make a decision. Do they wait? Do they look at a smaller home? Or how do they compensate?
Right. And
Maybe they make cuts in other areas to afford that payment. I'm not sure.
And a lot of them want more house now, too.
Really?
They want, yes. I think that...
They want more, not less? I thought the trend was less house. People want less house.
Millennials probably want less house. They want to live in those little small homes,
right, they want
tiny
smaller homes. Like in Gen X and Y, like my daughter's 20 and 2,000 square feet overwhelms her.
Oh, right.
They want tiny.
And then the families, they want the space, they want the yard, and they go to the suburbs to get that.
Yes, the families in the suburbs to get it, right.
And with all of these different mortgage products that are out there, you don't have to put down 20%. You can put down 10, 5, whatever it might be, right? But then you're hit with that PMI. And so there's just another thing that you have to think about.
And to see if and again, maybe I'm wrong, but if you can't afford that down payment, or we've seen that study, and I was on Fox talking about this. Mm-hmm. 1 in 3 millennials are tapping into their retirement accounts and paying penalties and or taxes to make the down payment. If you are doing that, maybe you cannot afford the house.
Not smart. Yeah.
No?
Well, I'll say this. What? Out of every 3 clients that I currently have, 2 are not qualifying for what they want.
2 are not?
Yeah. So
is that just as of late?
As of late, as in the past 3 months.
But they can qualify, just not up here.
That's
it's
right.
more like here.
Yeah, or some don't qualify at all.
Really?
Right.
Not at all?
Not at all, because they have bad credit.
Okay.
Or they don't have, they're not making enough money, but they have their sights set up. Champagne tastes on a beer budget, right?
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, so no reality.
No reality. I didn't want to say that, but that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But I think Lily can kick a little reality into anybody.
I kind of tell it like it is.
Yeah, that's what
and
I mean.
You have to. You can't sugarcoat what people can afford, what the housing market is looking like. You can't.
Well, it is what it is, and you have to look ahead down the road. Every house we ever bought, my wife and I, we looked at, okay, in 10 years, how hard is it going to be to sell this place? You know?
Yes.
And so we would buy houses that didn't have certain things that we didn't think were going to be important to the next buyer.
Right.
And that
That's a
actually
good way to
worked
look.
out.
That's how I look at it as well.
Yeah, because
That's how I always help my clients look at it. You got to think about the resale factor.
You have to.
step.
You have to, because no one lives in a house forever anymore.
I think the average homeowner stays in their home 7 years.
Yeah, it was 7 years.
Yeah.
Is it still 7? Around there?
That's the last time I heard it was 7 years.
I keep pushing the curve up.
So I was like
13.
the odd man out because I was the only idiot advisor who would recommend an ARM at all times, an adjustable rate mortgage. Because I say you adjust the mortgage to the amount of time you want to stay, and everybody goes right for the 30-year. And I'm like, why? I'm getting a lower payment, and I'm going to probably stay in this house for 7 to 10 years. So go for the, oh my gosh, but the rate's going to go higher. No, you're probably going to be gone from this home, or you'll have to refi if you're getting close. But the point is, cash flow is very important. So I had a lot of people that I would recommend an ARM when the mortgage broker would recommend the 30-year, because it seems like that's the default. But you're not going to stay. That's a nice romantic notion that you might stay in a house 30 years.
Right.
But so that has worked out in many ways. Now,
Well, those were based on people staying in the same job their entire careers, too.
Yeah,
Now,
how come I'm going to stay at the
Yeah.
same house for 30 years, but I'm going to move jobs every 3? It's not makes sense. It doesn't make any
Right.
sense.
Right.
It's not the way the mentality. I mean, that's how people look at partners too. I mean, the whole everything is.
What's the next thing?
Swipe right, left,
Right.
house left, house right.
I'm familiar. Aren't you, Richard?
No.
Oh.
I'm out of that. Not swiping. I don't swipe well.
No? Then you need to get on Bumble.
No, I'm not
All right.
bumbling either. I'm
Bumble.
not
Because
getting.
that is where the women.
Nobody's
decide
swiping
who's
on me.
dating.
I'm not looking to
Really?
get stung on Bumble. So
It's a numbers game.
nah.
Dating is a numbers game. Got to
Maybe-
get on there. Increase your chances.
So have you figured out your algorithm?
No. I'm not on any of them because.
me neither.
No. Not yet. Not yet, anyways.
But I mean, so you got to match your mortgage to the house. But but that's interesting to hear because again, as borrowing costs go up, people don't realize that it's not the same economy as in the 80s. Borrowing costs can only go up so far before you're really going to crimp. I don't know what the magic rate is on mortgages as far as what if the mortgage goes to fixed mortgage rate goes to 5.5. Does that change the game? What's the breaking point? Do you have any?
No, that's a great question for a lender. I would love to talk to a lender one-on-one on this podcast because There are so many clients that I have that it makes so much sense for them to be in a 7-year arm, 10-year arm. They will not consider that no matter what.
Why do you think?
And when lenders talk to them, they still will not consider that, even though it makes, if you just put down a checklist, everything makes sense. And there's something that is...
it's because it's ingrained
in
negative
negative
industry,
connotation.
and even advisors, the bad advice gets so ingrained that nobody can think outside of it, okay? So I'm going to pay less. And the people who listened to me did a really good job matching the mortgage to how long they're going to probably stay in the house. They don't want to, I don't think people, when they buy the house, they want to believe that they're only going to be there 10 years or 7 years. They really think, no, I'm going to stay in this house. And they're not. And what's the worst case? You refi?
Yeah,
as you
at
get
the end
closer?
of the term,
Yeah.
you just
Or before.
refi. Yeah.
But people think that rates are going to, it acts as a fixed rate mortgage up to the point of the term, okay? But again, it's very tough, to Lily's point, to convince anybody else that that's the right way to go. And I don't understand. It's this whole soup of emotion that goes along with a house that totally
of
throws the
course.
way you think about money out the window.
Well, it is the biggest emotional purchase of your life. And it's, if you're a seller, you are it's personal. It's your house. Everybody, it's the best house
So
out
you're gonna
there.
right, and that's called the endowment effect. My house has got to be worth more because it's my house.
Right.
So do you ever see people that put up their house and you go, I mean, I'm sure you say, because I always listen to the realtors say, listen, you got to give me a realistic price. You got to tell me what the market dictates.
Right. And I'll show you comps and I'll tell you why
Right.
you were overpriced.
Do you have people go, no, they
and then
still
that's
stick?
not for me. So then I won't pick up that listing. Because if it's going to sit
I
on the
see.
market and if it's only worth $300 and you want $350 for it, I can't sell it for $350. There's no appraiser that's going to appraise it for $350. Then your buyer can't get the loan.
So when you tell people this, now you're telling me, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I had my kids here, right? I had the monkeys. I had my house all set the way I wanted, the jungle room. Like Elvis's jungle
That was your room, not the kids' room, right?
Yeah, that's not, it's my room.
The one with the trapeze.
Yeah. But I say, gosh, and I think I should get $350 for this house. And you say, no, well, probably about $310.
Because it's an emotional assessment.
Right. But you got to look. What kind of responses do you get when you have to be realistic like that with a seller?
Then they'll say, let's just start at $350 and
and then see where it goes.
see where it goes. And I'll tell them that's a waste of time because that first 2 weeks is your
It's like-
honeymoon phase.
Oh yeah,
And that's when you get the
that's when you're
offers.
getting all the attention, right? Then it's going to linger on the market. So
Yeah.
put it out realistically up front.
Yes. Because my method to the madness is very different. I would never list it for $350. If it's going to be $310, I'd rather list it for $300. And then you
I
have a
see.
bidding war, and that's what happened
Exactly.
with my Cypress listing.
Got it.
I listed a little bit below. We got an offer that was $10,000 above.
So that
asking
2-week
price.
honeymoon, you were like the Bumble star,
That's
weren't
right.
you? You were like, oh, Lily's on Bumble. You know what's
Look
gonna
at
happen?
all these
you know,
offers.
you know what's going to happen, right? If Lily goes on Bumble,
Yeah.
because I'm going to go on Bumble, and she's never going to swipe up.
Wait, but they match you. We might not be a match.
Oh,
so-
we might not be matched.
Yeah.
I'll have to work on that algorithm. But so the point is, so you've had to turn people away. I would
I
think
have.
you'd have to say, listen, I'm not your realtor.
I have, and it was $1 million listing. Wow. And I said, I cannot sell it for this. You're not being realistic, and it's a bad business decision for me because I'm sinking so much marketing dollars in it, and you will never buy that house. No, you won't sell that house. Another realtor picked it up.
Interesting.
It's been on the market now for 200 days. At the same price, they haven't lowered it.
Really? 200 days?
200 days.
Isn't
See,
that
and-
isn't that like a pariah? Like
Yeah.
you don't want to look at it after like
It's
isn't
like
that
what's wrong with it?
Right.
At that point, why is it not
why is it
sold
on?
in 200
I can
yeah,
tell
there's
you
a
exactly
stigma,
why it's
there's
not
a
selling.
stigma to that.
You know.
Yeah.
But a prospective buyer is going to look at that and think,
But if you're not listening to the market, you're the builder who owns that house. You're not listening. You're failing yourself.
Yeah.
No, the buyers dictate the market, and if there's not an offer at
That's
all,
right.
then you got to listen. But
And
they're
the-
being very stubborn about it.
The strategy that you just touched on a minute ago is really cool. You price it low in the first 2 weeks to attract
Because-
those buyers and let them bid the price
Up. That's
to
very
where you want to sell.
Jeez.
That's exactly what happened to two of my listings just now. They were above asking price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's smart.
But you, no, it's just you need to know exactly that magic number where to set it, though.
Yeah.
So you're not.
But
you know,
to your point, that 2 weeks, that first week, because like when I go to Zillow, I always hit the new listings first.
Yes.
Right?
really the first week.
Is it?
We had
The first
4
week?
offers in the first 2 days.
So
Okay.
is there any benefit to looking at those houses that have been on the market for 200 days and going to them and saying, look, this is not priced right. I'll offer you this.
And
can you buy under the market that way on a house like that?
At some point, they're going to have to unload their home. At some point, they'll have to accept some offer.
Too much pain.
Yeah. That house has been sitting there now for over a year and a half.
Really? Empty?
Empty. Staged, but vacant, yeah.
Yeah, staged but vacant. So who knows what's going on in that house at night?
This happens with stocks, too. People think that I got to get this price.
Uh-huh.
And if I don't get this price or it continues to lose money, I won't get out.
Because they can't separate the emotion.
They can't separate the emotion. It's like anything else. And it's a bad it's a horrible mistake. And understand that buyers, for the most part, will rule. The market's going to dictate the price of whatever you're looking to buy or sell.
And if you are a builder, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
If you're a builder, you have to understand your audience.
How do you think you said it was how does a builder not know the market?
Okay, they're not from here.
Okay, so they come out and they just say, this is the, okay.
Yeah, they're not from Texas. And so this particular house, when they built it, I asked them, did you consult me? Did you consult a realtor? Did you consult
anybody like
architect?
market intelligence? Yeah, of some kind.
A designer, because
Yep.
in Texas, we love big closets. We love large walk-in master closets. We love huge utility rooms. This one, for $1 million house, can't fit 2 front loaders in the utility room. It has to be a stackable.
Oh,
That
that's
does not
I
work.
don't even think that flies.
Yeah.
Does that fly anywhere except maybe if you're in like
New York?
Yeah.
But you should
And those
know
are usually
that.
older homes
No, this is
because
brand
the way
new.
the rooms are built. But
And this
wow.
beautiful house, the first floor is all porcelanosa white, beautiful floors. Second floor, completely different look, distressed hardwoods, barn doors. And it's not working. What look are you going for here?
Oh, it's like so different.
It's so different. And so these builders need to call me so I can
For
give
the-
them some advice.
For the bipolar owner.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work.
That would be cool if 2 people have 2 different tastes and they're married. They go, you live upstairs, I'll live downstairs. You live in the
That's
barn
perfect. See,
and I'll
that's
live
a
in the...
perfect scenario. You have your own master bedroom, I'll have mine.
Right,
Next door to you, not in the same house.
right.
They're building those houses. It's for the in-laws to live with you.
There is a builder that's already doing that where it's just a little side apartment that's attached to the same house under the same roof so you can have one mortgage.
You know what I would call that company if I was building those houses where I want to
What?
put the in-laws in?
What?
Out to Pasture LLC.
I love it.
Let's see if we can get the domain name.
Yes.
I bet you can. I bet Lily can.
Out to pasture.
Very cool.
Don't knock on the door, Mom. Call me.
Oh, my goodness. If the red pills are empty, don't come and get me. Or I don't know. I have to think about, because it's always thinking about the red pills from
Come
that
up with a
commercial.
tagline.
Yeah, I have to think about it. I get creative when Lily's around.
Last time it was about Buc-ee's.
It was.
It was. And I see you're using your Buc-ee's
Yes, because it's 30 degrees in here, you
blanket.
guys. It's the tundra.
Actually, I don't think it's that cold in here.
It's 69.
Yeah, but she's sick.
It was
so-
68 when you came in, but we've got
I know why she's sick.
warm
too.
bodies in here. Why?
She's never home. She's always all over the place.
Do you know how many people always say to me, why do you travel so
On that
much?
airplane with all those
Because you can.
with those germs.
And that's true, recycled air. For the first year of my entire career, right, I was in
Mm-hmm.
TV news for 21 years. You have to beg for a vacation day off. You have to beg for a holiday off.
It
and
is. It's
hopefully,
crazy, I know.
hopefully you can have half a day of Thanksgiving
Maybe.
just to see your family, maybe. So for the first time, I can afford to work remotely with
Yeah.
my laptop anywhere.
That's cool.
And until I see my clients face to face, and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm working in Bali. I'm working in Belize, wherever I'm at.
But you got to get something for on the plane, like
I
where you
know.
don't.
Do you wear the masks?
No, but I should, like most of those Chinese people.
Yeah, they do.
They do. In China, they do that because of the smog.
Right.
But it also serves as a keep the germs away type thing.
And airplane prophylactic.
Yes.
But yeah. So what else are you seeing on the real estate front out
I'll
here?
tell you
Still
what.
hot as heck.
Yes. Houston is robust. This July over last July, up 9% in home
Really?
sales and price.
Which area is still the same?
Same areas inside Houston. I mean, it's just I have a home that I put a coming soon sign. Had an offer before it was active in Afton Oaks.
Is it like Montrose or the Heights or
Yeah,
is it?
it's a
Afton
luxury.
Oaks?
Afton Oaks, right there,
Yeah.
610 in Richmond.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just the luxury market is robust.
That's a cool neighborhood too.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
How do you get these listings? Then all of a sudden you have Cypress. Then you're out there too. You're
all referrals.
She's got people.
People, friends, my sphere. What's interesting, though, what I'm seeing is that Sugarland, the burbs, some of the burbs are hotter than others.
yes.
Sugarland's taking a little bit of a dip in the luxury market. I have a beautiful listing on 311 Brooks. It is beautiful. One of my favorites, my personal favorites. It's on a little bit of a busy street, right between Highway 6 and 90. And I cannot
Man, that's
get
like a
enough
sweet
of-
spot in
It
there too,
is.
between those two highways.
It's between all the traffic.
Yeah.
You're not in the traffic. And what I'm trying to figure, if anybody out there knows, let me know. The Imperial Project. You guys know about this?
Yes.
Okay. The whole old Imperial factory is going to be some kind of a town center. Museum, hotel.
and commercial.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. When are they
you
breaking
been,
ground?
Have you been in that building?
I haven't.
If
It's
you can
sweet.
wangle away inside, if you can wangle away inside the old building, do it. It is so cool. It's like walking back in time.
See, that's so cool. And this home that I'm trying to sell in historic
Why don't I
Sugarland.
just make it a Walmart? I could do everything else out here, or a Whataburger.
Yeah, just put one there, and they will come.
Is that the construction site where they had to stop because they came across slave worker graves?
Right. I don't think it's the same one. I don't think it is.
Did you know that story?
No. Where have I been?
It was an
Back-
apartment building, I think.
Back in the days,
Yeah.
when the prison was in operation and the prison system would lease out or rent out their prisoners to do work. And most of them were black, and many of them would not survive that. And so they came across this burial ground with, I don't know, 100 graves in it?
Where is
Yeah.
it now?
In
Old-
Sugarland.
In Sugarland.
Historic Sugarland.
Adjacent to the prison.
Oh.
Because
Wow.
the prison was a prison farm.
Yes.
And so these workers, and so they had to stop construction until they could go through, and the archaeologists came out and they did all this forensic stuff on it.
I don't think it's the same area as that Imperial project. But I'd like to know when that's breaking ground.
Bet
They've
it's
been
close,
saying this
though.
year,
They have people that
3
died
years
from
ago.
diabetes around the fat. Around,
So
The
wrong.
Imperial Sugar Factory.
That is so wrong.
Let's continue with the bad jokes.
listen, I've got a million of them.
Yes, I've heard. Richard is the king of texting me memes all day long.
All day long.
And they are so funny. I'll be
Yeah.
driving in my car, I'll see a meme, and I'll swerve.
At least I got her attention.
There you go.
People send these to me.
She doesn't have to swipe. You just send her your meme.
That's what I tried.
And that's how we communicate.
Yes.
We have full conversations over memes.
Hey, we do.
And then every time you text me, I realize how much time we spend in our cars
A
because
lot.
I can never text you back.
No, because we live in cars.
I
yeah.
wonder how much the average American Houstonian spends
Oh
in
my God.
a week.
I know there's a study
They
about
did a
that.
study on it.
Yeah.
It's like
Only like 10 hours.
something like that. It's ridiculous. And I was spoiled for many, many years. I would go in at like 0 dark 30. I mean, like
Yeah,
3 in the morning. I'm driving into work.
Same.
No traffic. The freeway system's great. 70 miles an hour, doorstep to doorstep. And now we're doing the show in the afternoon, and I come in with everybody else, and it's
And then you end during rush hour.
well, actually, the rush hour is over by the time I leave.
Oh, that's good.
Post production after the show and stuff. So I'm getting out of here like 8 o'clock at night.
That's good.
So it's still light, which I like.
So which suburbs are you finding are the hottest? Or-
Inner Loop is always hot. Always hot. But
And
the
will
suburbs,
That's not a
be.
suburb, though.
Cypress.
Cypress.
Cypress
is still
is
good?
still a sweet spot.
Yeah. I like Cypress, too.
Yeah.
You can
In
just-
my experience, my listings have not been able to stay on the market at all.
Now, when
Really?
you
Yeah.
say Cypress, can you triangulate?
Yeah, so let's see. Mushki Road exit.
Okay.
And then it's just that area to the right.
Okay, north of 290 at
North of
Mushki,
290 and then east of.
east of Mushki.
Yeah.
I love to hear
Mushki.
that because that's where our Moe's restaurant is.
You're what
Yeah.
restaurant?
Moe's
Yeah.
Pub.
That's right. I take a right there. Moe's Irish Pub.
There you go.
Yes.
There is an act. Okay, that just came to my mind. There's a guy who sings. His name is Chad Eastwick. He plays at Moe's. So good. You guys go see him.
I should go to that
Chad
one.
Eastwood.
I always go to the one in Vintage.
You owe me a beer.
I do owe you a beer. I do owe you a beer. I do. But
Moe's
yeah,
it is.
Moe's do well. So we have Moe's in Vintage, Katy,
Cypress.
Cypress. College Station is the
Really?
new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. And then San Antonio.
Do they do music at the one in the Vintage?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
Great bands. They had the Beatle. I can't remember the name of the group, but they're the Beatle.
I know one of the guys that plays in that group.
Yeah, what's the name of the
He's an
group?
attorney. It's,
But they're amazing. But the turnout at over Vintage was tremendous.
well, the vintage, man, you can't shake a stick in there any time of the day or night, regardless.
Thank you. But yeah, so again, so Cypress is hot. Woodlands still?
I'll be honest. I've
you
not
haven't
had a
done it?
listing. No, that's a little far for me and out of my range. But I'm not sure.
That's
I'm not sure about
I was at the Harper's Landing to meet my daughter, and I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And is
I'm amazed.
the Exxon effect still going on up there?
Yes, and you know what? Here's the thing about the Woodlands. I feel like its own city. It's
It is.
really its
Well,
own
it
city,
is.
and not even a suburb of Houston.
No, it is. It is
Yeah.
its own metropolis. It really is.
When I drive through there, I just hit that wall of traffic on my way to Dallas. Just hit that wall of traffic, and then I just exit to go shopping, contributing to the local economy.
Yeah.
Just helping them out.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see as borrowing costs go up and rates go up where real estate market is. To me, it's at top cycle. And again, you never know how long the top of a cycle lasts. But obviously, Houston is becoming a formidable city. I mean, as far as growth across the board overall. And the Heights still.
Top of the market.
Still.
Still.
That place is amazing.
One of the most interesting areas to me is what's happening east of downtown
Yes.
with these condos that are going up, and they're taking
Three-story
some of the
townhomes.
old buildings and converting them into
What's that part
new
of town
commercial
considered?
space.
Edo?
Edo.
Like the
okay.
navigation
Yeah,
area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very hot. I almost don't even want to say this out loud, but sometimes, depending on my client, I try to steer them away from condos because their buying power goes down when they have a $550 a month HOA fee.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But with that said, if they want a pool, that's what they're going to have to pay, right? And they're going to afford less house. But yeah, Edo,
I see
lot
when
of
I
condos.
drive through Sharpstown, I can get a couch or a table or something. There's usually one out there that I can pick
That's all you
up.
need. That's all you can afford. And
But I heard that area is going through some big changes.
it has to.
Yeah,
It's such a great area.
It is. It is. So, I would pick Montrose over Heights.
Really?
But for what reasons?
Restaurants.
Yeah.
And I love the houses themselves. They're older. The older homes, stone, brick. I just sort of like that look.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of up north.
Yeah.
New York homes are similar.
Right.
It's
But
interesting to know how those builders communicated during the Civil War. But I mean, it's just interesting to see how that, because those styles, Tudor styles and so forth, I see a lot of that in Montrose.
in Montrose, I feel like it depends on which street, right? But you have less airspace because you have
Yeah.
the older trees. In the Heights, you have a little more breathing room.
Yeah, I love the
Yeah.
trees, though. I'm a tree person.
Platted a little bit differently. And what's the area just to the east of 288, south of 45?
South of
I think
45 to
that's-
8. Medical Center South? Wait,
No,
south,
I think
Riverside Terrace.
Yes, yes. I think that's got potential. It's got the same kind of houses you're talking about, but no one has gone in there and done any renovating.
Oh, they
yet.
are.
It's
And now
just
there are
like-
homes right now that
Yeah.
are dilapidated next to a $900,000
Oh,
home.
yeah, yeah.
It's the next area
got-
that's upcoming, but give it 5 years.
Shotgun shacks next to nice
Mm-hmm.
builds.
Well, it's amazing, and I'm sure you've done a lot of homes, because you like all this nostalgic stuff. Those homes, the bungalows, it's like in the Heights.
Yeah.
When you would be able to purchase them through a catalog, like Sears.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You purchase your home
Catalog
through
houses.
a catalog.
Right. Like the
In
back pages
20s.
on the bottom.
No,
Yeah.
they give you all the. Yeah, if you look at a Sears catalog, you picked your home. There was another company too. I can't remember, Montgomery Ward, but you would pick your house that you wanted, and they would come and be built. But it's amazing to read the story about those Sears homes. The quality of the material was amazing, and what went into selecting those homes and the materials that went into
Yeah.
those houses.
I have a friend who's a cabinet maker, and he actually has done some of the work in the studio for us.
Okay.
And he came across an article that was comparing lumber, of all things, of 100 years ago
To today.
versus today.
Oh, what was
Well,
that?
the-
That had to be interesting.
The
Yeah.
density of the lumber, number one, because the lumber 100 years ago was taken from natural forests, and the forests were allowed to grow at their own pace. versus commercial lumber forest, where they hurry up the growth process, and the density of the rings in the wood was stark. You'd have a lot of rings within an inch, and on the
That's why I like
commercial
older
lumber,
homes.
That's right.
yeah, it
I'm a
makes
sucker
a
for
huge
older
difference.
homes, and that's just where
in
I'm
the
from.
construction.
Up north, like in New York, if you buy a house from the 20s, you just buy. That's what you buy.
That's
Right.
what you get too. The best quality.
Yeah, and that to me is quality.
Yeah, and then this is what you have to expect now. Everything that's new, all the doors, everything is medium density fiberboard. There's no more solid wood.
You can thump it and tell.
Yep.
Who are the high end builders? Like the high? Is it? Are there like specialty builders that you work with?
There's so many. There's so many builders out there, and a lot of fly by night.
Yeah, that's might
And-
be. But people would have to be very careful when
Yes.
they select builders.
And one of my clients right now is dealing with, it was a $670,000 home she purchased. We closed in December, and she's dealing with such a bad roof leak that it's just rotted down the back wall in one of her bedrooms.
goodness.
And
Already?
the builder was fly by night, and they have a 1-year warranty, right? Cannot find the builder. I think at some point, if you're the agent and part investor in that, you got to own up to it.
You
do
do.
the right thing. Do the right thing.
Is a 1-year warranty on new construction standard, or I thought they were like 5?
Yeah, well, it depends. It could be a 10-year foundation warranty.
Yeah.
But 1 year, like what's inside the house, if there's a leak in a window.
Structural stuff.
Structural stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
And sometimes
And
I've
so we're
heard that
dealing with
Sometimes I've heard that these leaks occur in the oddest of places that they would have never thought.
Well, it's from bad
because they're
framing.
not. But they're builders that are not from here.
Bad flashing, bad framing.
Yes.
And the builder was here.
Okay.
But he closed shop somehow, some way. I can't find
He
him.
files bankruptcy and
Right.
disappears.
Yeah. And you can't do anything about that. So now we have our only recourse is to go through an attorney. And no one wants that.
No.
Just do the right thing, people.
Well, again, if the guy is out of or the company is out of business,
But
You
he
may
has
not.
2 hands. He built this house. He should stand by his work anytime,
no, I would agree with that.
but that's integrity.
That's when if Lily, I buy a house. If it's past 1970, I'm not buying it.
Right. And then if you were buying a house in 1970, I would say we got to do this inspection, that inspection.
Mm-hmm. Right,
Check out
right.
the pipes. Got to check
Pipes,
it. Yep,
all that.
everything. It's probably going to be cast iron.
Yeah. The metal pipes are big trouble. We had a
Yes.
house in Hunters Valley that had the metal pipes in it, and they started to do the pinhole leaks and
Yeah.
stuff. And I
Well,
went
it's
up
happened
there.
to a lot of homes
Oh,
in
yeah.
Meyerland.
Yeah.
How is Meyerland doing, by the way?
It's slowly all the homes
'Cause-
that couldn't sell because people were fearful. They're all under contract or
Are they?
sold now.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Because there are some really great places, homes there.
They're beautiful, and they were built to withstand
Yes.
and engineered to withstand flooding. But Meyerland will slowly get its reputation back. It's the best area. You can't beat that area.
No, I mean,
And Bel Air
I would-
schools? I
Yes,
mean,
Bel
gotta
Air
love it.
School District. I mean, when I did my homework, and I lost a lot of money in that house in Meyerland. I lost $100,000 on that house. But I did all my homework before I bought that house, and all the pipe. I had all the inspections for the pipes and all
Right.
new pipe. I mean, I love the house. Great trees and all that. But then some company. I'll remain nameless, but I had my backyard was great,
Yeah.
but I had an easement back there, all trees, and I was assured by the realtor that I bought it from that was not going to change because I loved I was getting all kinds of birds, and I
Yeah.
loved riding out there, and then all of a sudden a large housing company came in and started to build patio homes, and all those trees were gone. And literally, you go out in my backyard, and I look up, and I could literally see into somebody's toilet, like I could into their bathroom, and I'm like, there goes the value of this home. It costs this. Here's my fence, and right there is our windows to this patio home.
Yeah.
A shame.
And that was not supposed to happen. Totally killed it for me. But the house didn't flood. And I did my homework enough to know that that whole block did not flood. And I had some great neighbors. But that is to me, Meyerland is still one of the nicest areas.
I love it. I love it. You asked me which builders I work
Yeah.
with closely. Right now, I have Xander Homes. Right, Justin Henry is the owner of Xander Homes,
Okay.
and they build such a great quality home. They're going in and picking up really good lots
Okay.
in Bel Air and Meyerland.
yeah.
They're building right now $1 million homes, and then my listing in Sugarland is the Xander home. I love the quality.
So
That's my dream
know
designer
it.
home.
You probably know that kind of home as soon as you walk into it, if they built it or not,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, just down to the herringbone wood floors in the entry.
Wow.
The pattern, just you look and see just their straight lines.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very good quality homes.
Now, do all the homes have to be raised in Meyerland? What's the
I think
rule?
there is, and I think there's a like ordinance law.
It's a new city ordinance. Yeah. Got to jack them up.
6
Some
feet,
of
I
those
think.
homes don't look right raised.
I know.
I see.
Like
Did
the
you see-
old ranches
Yes,
that they
and
put
they
on.
put-
Yeah, that's.
It just looks weird.
I feel like you're gonna fall through the floor when you walk.
Yeah,
Oh, and they spent a lot of money on that.
I know. And it's heartbreaking because people put,
Yeah.
like you said, great investment. And now what do you do?
Right.
And we had some horrible stories coming out of Ireland through the hurricane. And before that, when the tax day flood, they had the one story about the one, I can't remember what station ran it, but this gentleman was rebuilding his home after the tax day flood, and then as soon as it's done, it was done about a week, the hurricane came in and wiped him out again. I don't think I could go through that.
No, because
I don't-
before tax day, you had Memorial Day floods.
Yes.
And so they've been hit 3 times in 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah, and some people still will never leave Meyerland. They were born and raised there. They will live through it again.
Yeah, they're pretty resilient. They'll look to it. But again, hopefully the area continues to recover.
Yeah. And they're doing that bayou widening project, so they're going
That's-
to
You know what the
push
best
that
thing that
water down the-
happened to me, even though it was a horrible thing, was the hurricane, because I could not get the house sold. And when the hurricane passed and the house didn't even leak and the block didn't flood,
There you go.
all of a sudden
Yeah.
there was more of a flurry of activity.
Right.
And that channel widening is only going to be part. That's not really the solution. The solution is upstream.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And they're not doing that yet.
It's a little bit short-sighted, I would think, because you're kicking the can down the road for
Sure.
another development in another city to absorb all of your problems.
No
Yes.
pun intended.
That's
Right.
right. You're just literally
Yeah.
sending your
Down-
problems to another
downstream.
Downstream. I don't know. It's interesting, but it's great to see. And again, we're coming up to the 1-year anniversary,
That's right.
25th.
the 25th.
August 25th.
So we got 2 more weeks. And what are they predicting for this year?
Actually, slower than usual.
Yeah.
Good. Knocking on
Knock
plywood
on
here.
Formica.
I don't even know
Or
what
Micah.
this is. Have you ever been through a storm where, when it rains hard, and you and I live close to each other, we're not far from
Yeah.
each other, and we didn't have any issues.
No.
But to listen to that rain come down as hard as it did for as long as it did, I've never experienced anything like that in my life, where there's not a break and it just keeps coming to where you're so
Relentless.
conditioned to that sound
Yeah.
that when it stops, you go, what happened? But it was relentless.
But do you remember that moment right before it hit and everybody was expecting this catastrophe? And I remember sitting there, it was 3:00 in the afternoon, and I was about to report for NBC in Dallas. And I was sitting there with my friends who were for NBC here, and we're like, what storm? And we were collectively holding our breath. And then the next day, mass flooding. But it was that moment before the storm hit that we were all wondering what was going to happen.
I was
How
glued
bad
to the radar.
It was right
Yeah.
here. We
Yeah.
had the radar up
we
right
had it
here.
up on the screen, and it was like,
And you're
oh
looking
my
at this
goodness.
thing on the radar here, and this is ominous, and you're going, my gosh, this is a monster. And I guess what we didn't expect was how it got stuck.
And just
This-
hovered
this
over.
just hovered and did not
Stalled.
move.
Stalled and dumped. Yeah.
That was if it just would have passed, it would have still been bad. But what did it move at, like 1 or 2 miles per hour?
Yeah.
If
just
that?
glacially slow.
Yes. So let's hope that this year
It's much better.
is much better. But again, it's great to get some insight into the real estate market in Houston.
Yeah.
Good to
Red
see you
hot.
guys.
We'll have you back again soon.
Yes, I would love to. We can talk about Richard's dating stories after I enroll him on Bumble.
There you go. Lily Jang, thanks so much for joining us. How can folks reach you?
Yes.
Oh, reach me, Lily at lilyjangrealestate.com. That's my email.
All right.
When she's in town.
There you go.
She's always
All the
on,
time.
but she's always there on her email.
And
Send
for-
her memes. She loves those.
She loves memes.
Yes.
And for Richard Rosso and the rest of us at Clarity Financial, thank you so much for watching this afternoon. This will be posted to YouTube in just a couple of minutes. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.